Hey everyone, I'm Harry Nightmare and today I would like to share my vision of the new game Mortal Kombat 11. First of all, of course, it's directed to the developers of NetherRealm Studio, as I affected the mechanics of the game and its innovations, which in my opinion need to be fixed. But I will be very happy to see in the commentary your opinion, so welcome discussion under this video. The new part of game seemed to me very unusual. Added new mechanics, emphasis was placed on the heavy neutral and footies, you can roam in mind games, and finally characters got the general defense mechanics, which was just what game lacked. But along with innovations, both new problems appeared in gameplay itself, as old problems of game are again being put, fixing which would add interest to game for both esport players and ordinary players. And here a list of what you will need to pay attention. And here is a list of what you will need to pay attention to. First, mobility. At this moment, this is perhaps the most hard problem that has been felt. There's just abnormal projectiles for almost entire roster. Only those who have teleportations will be playable characters like Raiden or Scorpion. But what about the rest characters? Running is removed from the game and approaching become a real problem for most of them. Not to mention trying to whiff punish some normal attacks or projectiles. In my opinion, one of the solutions to this situation may be an increased range of dash ahead and slightly increased speed of jumping. This is really need to be heavily thought about. Second, change of variation doesn't change the gameplay of characters. The second most important for me was the lack of variability of variations. Wait, what? It sounds different on Russian. Well, okay, let's rephrase it. The second most significant change was the lack of diversity on different variations. If we look back at MKX, similar character who also had some problem with variety was Reptile, which literally changed only one special move. As for me, this is worthless and you need to add more normal and special attacks and variations to diversity the gameplay and choose the most suitable variation for the matchup. After all, it seems that this is the point of changing variation, don't you agree? Third, many useless strings. Once again the old song. We have a huge move list from which we use only 3 or 4 combinations. And everything else is for beauty. Especially I was disappointed by Sonya, who had the biggest move list just filled with garbage series with any sane use. Yes, of course, thanks to the new mechanics of crushing blows, the problem is slightly less notable, but in fact it's difficult to find a good usage for them. Fourth, micro jump and strikes after them. Small area of use at high risk. Innovation, use of which I personally see very vague. And if the jump itself is very useful, here what you can do from this jump? Well, we can avoid lower pokes and grabs, but after that we have at our disposal only 2 super unsafe strikes that lead to nothing. Yes, they are overheads and could theoretically be used in mix-ups, where one is pretty unsafe launcher and second less unsafe poke. Maybe it will be worth a little to optimize them. It is not so critical, but still, and of course, I do not see so clumsy not to make an instant projectile for Sonya, which by the way is a signature for one of her variations. But no matter how I try, I can only do a shot on the lower arc of jump or when I jump with directions. In all other cases, it's just one of these punches. And I think what this is maybe a bug or not. Fifth, the fatal blow. Well, here the problem is not in move itself or that it's appear only in the absence of 1/3 of health, but in its availability even if you miss or hit the block. Yes, perhaps this is a generous option for beginners, but damn, because of this the blow itself becomes too imbalanced, and maybe shall give it to the another rounds too, not only one per match. Same about crushing blows, for them I think just reduce damage but stay them available later. 6. Broken moves. Did you hear that too? Yep, old problem. And this is personal. In some characters, unlike the rest, there are strings, normals and specials that completely break mechanic of the game. For example, I took Baraka, and what I'm seeing? Baraka's command grab is very fast and move him almost half screen forward, make it completely unseeable for everyone. There are almost same range on his mid knee, and his projectile hits mid? Seriously? And plus to this, we have anti-air spike shot from you can combo and it's hit ground opponents up close. Result is with in normal zoning and mix up on quiet ground. And if you think what this is just one character, you're wrong. Same on Raiden's anti-air grab attracts you from full screen, or creating wall of light what it can even anti-air you if you do jump to avoid it. And the cherry on cake will be his teleportation. In game where your movement looks like two handicapped guys trying to catch up with each other, well, this should be balanced or we just get injustice free. 7th. Buffer still doesn't work for normal attack and sometimes work wrong. It's still possible to enter some special move into block stun, but can be correct buffered, but still is just as hard as hell punished with the normal attacks. It forces players stay sharp, but do you really need to do it? Where you not need it at all? There's nothing wrong with the fact that the enemy will be more stable to punish mistakes with just frame punish. Then it will be much more pleasant to play. And even then, when we block low and immediately try to punish with this maybe forward kick, buffer think what we try to use special down forward kick. And this is need to be fixed. 8. Switch stance button. Last unrealized mechanic in game was the switch stance, completely useless action. Yeah, after some time player found a way to use even this, by cancelling a jump into it, to order get invul to command grabs, and this is really the only way how to punish Jason's grab. But even if it worked once in a while, that was super swag and not realize it in real fight. So maybe add a new interesting mechanic with this, or just completely get rid of this. The question will remain open. Well, that's what I managed to poke out the demo presented in Moscow. I hope the developers will pay attention to caring player and will do everything possible to please all fans of the series and make a truly wonderful game in the legendary series. Yes, many players, especially those who whom the MKX was their first and the only fighting game, will look at the new part with a very big apprehension. But I still hope that the new game mechanics will eventually attract a large audience and become another hit for console and PC's fighting genre. This is all I would like to share with you. If you like it, feel free to share likes, reposts, and it will be great to hear from you in the comments what you think about this. See you in the cyberfields, bye!